But this is what I found when I took the combustion case off, and we all know what that's about. That condense hose at the back has split, and that has been leaking for a long time. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Now, it's a classic case of I need my boiler serviced. We all know what that means when it comes to silly season. You don't need a boiler service, you need a boiler overhaul. And that's exactly what I found when I took the case off this boiler. Have a watch, let me know what you think. It was a great job to do. I ended up having to do a bit of plumbing as well, which I don't really do. I can do it, but I choose not to. I just prefer working on boilers and heating systems. But it was at the same property, so I thought, give it a crack. Managed to sort it. Don't know how I done it. I managed to do it somehow, and it's working. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. I'm getting close to the 8K by the end of the year. I reckon I'll hit it this month, before even Christmas, hopefully, with your help and support. So yeah, please just don't forget to hit that 2 little buttons, subscribe and like, and then enjoy the video. Catch you on the next one. Right, I'm here to do a boiler service. Let me show you what I've uncovered. I wasn't going to record it because I just thought, okay, it's just another service, but I think you guys are going to want to see this. So customers reported the boiler has been leaking a bit as well, and the pressure's been dropping. So in my head I thought probably the AAV, because the side that it's been dripping on is the right hand side. It's a Baxi Platinum Combi 33 HEA, which is basically a geotech. Let me show you what else I found. So firstly, yes, the AAV has been leaking. Secondly, underneath there, the pump's also been leaking. I'll get the case off the flap down in a minute, but the NTC's gone. But this is what I found when I took the combustion case off, and we all know what that's about. That condense hose at the back has split, and that has been leaking for a long time. So I need to go down to Essex Seating Spares and get some bits, but because I'm here to do a full service, before I do that I want to strip out, take the burner out and everything, have a look at the electrodes, the rectification probe. I've checked the expansion vessel, that's not leaking, it is flat, so it will need recharging, but I'm going to make a start on the service so that I can check to see that there's not anything else that I'm going to need to pick up as well, so I can price up the complete job altogether. So let's get that out. It's easy. Undo that nut on there, undo your electrical connections on your fan, and I'm going to have to pull them out because I don't want them to sit in the water. Undo your flame rectification lead, your spark leads, ignition leads. You've got 4 10mm burner nuts. That will come out, and then we'll have a look at it on the inside, see what's going on. Okay, so now the drip is happening and I can see where it's actually coming from. So where all this condensed water has been sitting on these cables is actually running down the cables back down to here and then working its way out. So got the burner out, and yeah, there has been some issues with the condense backing up inside here as well. You see the rear insulation pad is very crusty. You can see where the condense is backed up in the past as well, and that's because the condense, well, it's just going straight down. It should be 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches, but that's not the end of the world. Right, I'm gonna get my wet vac, clean all this up, vac all that stuff up. Then, so electrodes are fine, flame rec is fine. Just need to get these few other bits. And there's also a leaking kitchen trap in here as well. So I'm gonna have a look at that, see what I need to get for that, and then just go out and just buy everything in one go and come back and sort it. Right, so we've also got a leaking trap here. So it looks like that's popped out of there completely. I'm just going to take this whole thing apart first. Okay. Alright, so it looks like the nut and the washer on this missing. Yeah, see, on here, got the plastic washer on there. That's what's meant to hold the rubber in place, and that's what's missing from either end on this. That's fine. Bits in here. Oh, okay. So I think I just need to get a new P-trap because we've got the rubbers in there, but it's missing the nuts. Let's just check all the connections. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's just undo this whole thing. Yeah, that as well. Right, so I've got the nut on there. It's got the nut on there. Right, so that. I'm not sure if hearing this first. Yes. People off of one of their agents in the pageant. That doesn't seem to be the right size. Right, I'm just gonna have to go and get a whole lot of fittings. So then I can put this back together because we're missing plastic washers and some bits. Some of the rubbers are gone. So I'm just gonna go and get a few waste compression bits and get this sorted out at the same time. Right, boiler overhaul time. Got new silicone hose for the condense. Got the new pump. Now, normally these are obsolete in the UK. You have to now get the ERP ones, but my supplier can still get these in. I think he gets them from Italy. And new hot water NTC sensor. So that's that with obviously the AAV, NTC on there, and changing over. Oh, that's all been dried up. Don't know if the customers dried that up or, well, it must have been, yeah, I think so. Saves me having to get my wet back out. That's all good. So I am going to first obviously change the hose, drain down the boiler, change the pump, the AAV, recharge the expansion vessel, change the NTC, and then I'll clean this out and then flush it through so that we don't get more condense leaking out there. Okay, let's make a start. So just draining the boiler out first. Expansion vessel, as predicted, is flat as a pancake, so let's get that recharged first. There we go, that's all bubbling out in there. So let that do its thing, and then we'll take this off first. Right, let's change the AAV first. So just set of grips on there. The reason I'm doing the AAV first is because if there's any excess air in there, it will just allow it to drain out. So when I take the pump head off, I'm not gonna have any more water left in there, or even if there is, it will just be minimal. But I think where I've recharged the vessel, it should be okay. So there you go, that's swapped out, and make sure, yeah, no, the O-rings on there. So that's fine, that's off. There's a comparison of the two different ones. So let's wind that in first. Okay, don't have to go too mad on that. It's got a rubber O-ring on it, so that's all good. Next, let's disconnect the pump cabling. Oh, forgot to mention, typical 3 amp fuse in the fuse spur. So 13 amp fuse in the fuse spur. So I'll be putting in a 3 amp as well. Let's just get that open. So that screw all the way out. Right, That's that off, and now we've just got live earth and neutral terminals in here. So undo. Okay, in fact I can probably leave that as it is on there. Because then what I'm going to do with the new pump head, that's got a connection on there. So I'm going to remove that, and then this will literally just slot straight into here. But I'll probably just turn the pump head on its side like that, so we get the same cable entry there. Okay, so I've just taken apart the new pump, and as you can see the connection side is the same on here. So where I had this connection that was going into there, where you can normally put a Molex, I think is it called a Molex connection? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's basically what you get on like the Ideals. But you can take it out, and then this will just wire straight into there. So now that I've got that off, I'm going to disconnect the pump head itself, the old one. Now we shouldn't have any water left in there, but I always like to put a bit of tissue there just in case, because we don't want it going on the board. Let's have a look. Sometimes I also put that Nerad Versa funnel. That's quite handy because we can put it under the pump and then direct it into a bucket or something. And what I tend to do is these, although I've got new ones, I'll keep one set because I've had it sometimes. You know, when you're working in airing cupboards, you might drop a screw and then you're left without a pump screw. At least this way, keep one set. Don't need to keep loads. One set of 4 will be handy. I hope you don't mind a bit of the road noise because I've got the door open here. Okay. Right. Now, what I'm going to do quickly is grease up the O-ring on the new pump. Hope you guys enjoy this real time so you can see how long it actually takes me. So just going to put a little bit of smear of grease just around there. Yeah, I know sometimes I do time lapses, but you know, sometimes it's nice to, I guess, it'd be nice for you guys to see how long it actually takes me to do some of these repairs. So here's a bit of real time for you. Also, if it gets too long, then I can skip some bits out or speed it up. But at the moment, let's keep it real time. So now I should be able to. Yeah, that pump is definitely knackered. I hope I don't have to remove the whole housing, because that screw at the bottom is pretty badly rusted. Okay, right, got the old pump out, and that is, you know, you can smell the inhibitor in there, or the dirt inside sometimes. Have a look at that. Filth, 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 filth. But it's okay, we're on the case. New pump head has gone in. Now, and you want to make sure on this pump, on this boiler, you get the right size pump. Because this is a 33 kilowatt, it's a 1560 pump rather than a 1550 pump, because it's got a bigger heat exchanger, it's got this bigger kilowatt, so it needs a more powerful pump to be able to run through the system. There's no, I thought there might be an entry on that side. That's fine. Right, that's tight. I always do it like I'm changing a car tyre, tighten up the opposite nuts. Shut. Right, that's nice and tight. Don't want to over tighten it because it's only going into plastic. And now, right, I've got live. Neutral. And earth. Right, that's all in. And then this will literally just spin around that way and slot in there, like so. Put the new cover on. Right, that's the pump and the AAV done. Now let's move on to the NTC. Okay, hot water NTC. Let's just pull the cable out first. So I've isolated the cold under the boiler. Now a little trick here, you can use a box spanner, like a tap spanner, monoblock tap spanner. That one is too big on there. Let's try that size. Yep, that's the right size there. There we go. All right, pop that in there, and then you should just be able to crack that, he says. Okay, box spanner on there. There we go. And do that. All right, I've just opened up a hot tap in the kitchen to relieve the pressure, so we just let it suck in the air and get rid of all that water. Now whilst it's doing that, so the new one that I've picked up actually has a rubber O-ring on it rather than a fiber washer, so that should hopefully shouldn't have this problem again with it leaking. So it's going to let all that drain out, and then we'll wind the new one in same way, pop it in, box spanner over it, tighten it up, then do the connection back up. Let's see, there's still a lot more water coming out of there. Will I be okay now? Let's have a look. Yep, no, that's fine. So I don't actually know if the fiber washer, there's the old one out, is actually even on there. Yep, there we go. That fiber washer's popped off. So I just smeared a bit of silicone grease around that O-ring and wind it in. So obviously do it up by hand as much as you can. And then box spanner. If you didn't know about this, now you do. It'll make your life so much easier, because I used to try and get my grips onto it, try and come up from underneath here and all sorts. But I'll be honest, all these little tips and tricks I've picked up through social media, Instagram, watching other engineers do it. Because you can even use a box spanner on the PRV as well. You get a big enough monoblock spanner. Right, that seems tight enough to me. Yeah, if you get a big enough monoblock spanner, you can even use one on the PRV just to change the head. Alright, let's pop the connection back in. Alright, I'm going to go and shut the tap and then come back and turn the water on. Okay, water's back on. We've got no leak on the NTC there. I've opened up the flow and return ISO valves, and now let's put some pressure into the boiler. Oh, looking good so far. Can hear the vessels filling up, which is good. We're at a bar. Coming up to a bar and a half. Okay. Right, we're at a bar and a half. Everything's looking good. That's all good. That's all good. Obviously cold mains is on, that's all good. Vessel's fine. So now I'm going to change that condense hose so that after I've flushed this through, I might actually put my plumb tunnel underneath it so that I don't have to take out the condense trap, because the condense trap actually is clean. I can't see any gunk in there. So I'll probably disconnect that, put my plumb tub underneath it, clean this out so that plumb tub catches everything, and then change the condense hose afterwards. Now for these, I always find, get yourself a set of angled nose pliers. Now I got these off eBay a long time ago, 11 quid. I have got a set of 4, all different sizes. You've got straight ones, slightly bent, 45, and then a 90. Fantastic for Worcesters when you're trying to get clips off the PRV, but also when you've got circlips like this, see how easy that is? Just makes it that much more easier. Now that is probably going to break. Yep. Which is fine. We need to make sure that we keep this rubber grommet, because that's going to make the room seal aspect of it, because this is part of the combustion chamber. That's probably baked on as well, so I'll have to probably cut that off, or might have got baked on. I'll sort that out in a minute. When we get that off, clean up the main heat exchanger, and then yada yada yada. Right, let's get this main heat exchanger cleaned out. Oh, do you know what? One thing before I start, let's just shove a bit of tissue just down that gas pipe, just in case we don't want anything spraying. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine, because that was the last bit I need to do anyway. So now I'm going to empty this out, put the new condense hose on, then we put everything back together. Right, let's get the new condense hose in. So just not the orientation. So where you've got the little kick goes onto the top there, because it's going to come up and then into the main heat exchanger, and the bottom one will go in there. Now I always put a little bit of silicone grease on the inside of them, have this circlip ready on here so I can poke that in, and then where's the rubber grommet? So that is going to go, that's going to come up like that. So push that through onto there like so, and then I'll bring this up with it, and then I'll be able to push that in afterwards. And then this, the new clip, I'll obviously put on afterwards. Now we've still got a bit of water dripping from there, because that's just from where I've cleaned the main heat exchanger out. So let's just move some of that tissue out of the way. We are going to get a little bit of water in there, which is fine. So first of all, I'm going to glide. Do you know what? I think I'm doing this cat-handed. That's the way to do it. Right. So that clip is on there on the bottom. That, once I get it in position. Okay, so that's on there, and then on the top here I need to get this clip of the hose first. Come on, work it down. Right. Cool, so that's on there. Now that's on there. Now the other thing you can also use is a Jubilee clip, but it's easier with the spring clips, I find. Oh, well, I say that, and then that bottom one has just come off the hose, which isn't what I need. That's fine. All I've got to do there is pull the hose off, clip goes back on. Right, that's on there. Now I've just got to make sure that we get the room seal back. There we go. Right, that's all room sealed again. Give it a little mop up on the inside. And then put the burner and everything back together. I've just had one of those moments. Putting back on the burner nuts, one's missing. Had them down here, thinking I've dropped it somewhere. Literally been on my hands and knees, looked around there, look around the back here, look underneath here. Using this, guess where it is? Stuck to the bottom of the magnet. Well, at least it's safe, but yeah, I need to get that off. That is a strong magnet. So get that off. Oh man, I'm really actually struggling to get it off. Doesn't want to come off. Right, let me try and get this off, put that back on, and then at least I can do my 26.9 checks on this, because service wise, that's all pretty much been done. Parts have been replaced. I can do my 26.9 checks and then sort out the kitchen waste. Okay, we are back on. So put a heating demand on. Boiler just purging the air out of itself. So AV is doing its thing, hissing away. Just going to wait for it to fire up. And I've started using this gas sniffer that Top Tez have sent me. I actually find it really handy because the readings, you actually get a digital display on it rather than just a sequence of lights. And I've found that it actually picks up the smallest of smallest gas leaks, rather than sometimes if you've got the one which just gives you an audible beep, sometimes you're not sure if that beep's getting quicker or not. At least with a digital display and you've got numbers on, you can literally physically see the numbers going up if you've got a gas leak. And I've had it before where the washer on this was leaking because I thought fiber washer, it's just some gas, I hadn't changed it. Ran my sniff around it and it was leaking, changed it over, it was absolutely fine. So that's fired up now. So let's just go around this connection, because this is the connection that I've disturbed. And that seems to be absolutely fine so far. So I did this time, I've learnt from previously. Just change the fiber washer on there. Yeah, we've got 0. No readings on there. All the way around the back as well. Happy days. Yeah, from Top Tez, this is the PT520B+. I think they have it on Amazon as well, so check it out. It's really good value for money, and I just think it's a really good bit of kit as well. Also, you don't have to change any batteries on it. It just works off a USB charger, so it's another good thing. You haven't got to worry about changing batteries. Because I've got another brand gas sniffer as well, a well-known brand one, but it's a bit hit and miss. It's just got the audible beeps and the lights, and sometimes I'm not quite sure. Is it picking up gas or is it not? I don't know. But this is basically, if you see numbers, you've got gas leak. You've got no numbers, if it's all zeroed out, yes, absolutely fine. So now we've got heating fired up. I am going to do my 26.9 checks on this and then sort out that kitchen trap. Right, don't ask me what I've done, but I've basically butchered parts of one trap and used bits of the other. I had to rob washers and seals out of it. Now, most important thing, let's just check Does it leak or does it actually run through now? That's looking good to me. Right, let's try the other side, the half bowl trap as well. That's all running into there. Nice can of John West to give a bit of a pull. Yeah, that's so far looking good. Obviously, ideally, you want to fill up the basin or the sink even. But that's all running through there. And nothing seems to be leaking. Let's just go have a look outside. Yep. That's running straight out. So, today I've done some boiler breakdowns and I've done a bit of plumbing. There you go. So, not my usual forte, but I managed to get to it. Like I said, so that wouldn't go into, I don't actually know what I've done, but I've robbed washers or some from these, pop it into here. Because basically that is the telescopic part in there, but that doesn't go into there. It's ever so slightly bigger. So my plan was to put that into there, but it didn't work. But I managed to rob, I think I robbed a washer out of here, which tightened onto there. And I had to use the same nuts because these nuts weren't working or whatever. But yeah, it's working now. And it's not leaking anywhere. So that's good. Job done.